If you look at dominating energy and storage, if you look at dominating EVs and self-driving technology, I mean, Tesla's $1 trillion company at some point.
Hey, I'm Steven and this is Solving the Money Problem. If you're new, welcome. If you're not, welcome back. Today we're hearing from Ross Gerber of Gerber Kawasaki discussing Tesla. For those of you who don't know, Ross is a tech investor predominantly. He's done very well over the years because he actually understands technology companies. Amazing, I know. Now, Ross is a big Tesla bull, but that said, he is pretty measured, reserved, and a little bit constrained in his thoughts on Tesla. He's definitely no Cathie Wood. So let's see what Ross had to say. But first, hey guys, if you're in the US and you'd like to help out the channel and get a free stock, check out the link in the description to WeBull. If you open a new account and fund it with $100, you'll get a free stock valued up to $1,600. And if you're in Australia, the UK, or New Zealand, you can get a free stock with stake, also using the link in the description. Let's get back to it.
Tesla had a horrible one with its worst one-day loss ever after it missed out on being included in the S&P 500, and then things got even worse when GM teamed up with its rival Nikola, taking a $2 billion stake in the company.
Yeah, that Nikola and GM partnership has aged exceptionally well, hasn't it? For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, check out the video I'm linking on screen now, or Google Hindenburg Research Nikola. Enough said.
Welcome now, Ross Gerber. He's president and CEO of Gerber Kawasaki, which owns a slew of Tesla stock. So you're a Tesla bull. Did it shake your confidence at all as you saw that come down 26% from the peak this week?
Well, no. I mean, in fact, I was more worried that it would keep going up, and it's like scary how much it's gone up. So to see a pullback of, 25, 30% after a 500% run up, that's pretty normal.
I tend to agree with Ross on this one. After such a meteoric rise, certainly not crying to see a little bit of a healthy pullback. In fact, you guys who've been watching the channel will know that I was buying pretty much every day 2 weeks ago and half of last week as well. Tesla stock on sale, I'm buying. I'd much rather the stock to continue to pull off a little bit from its recent highs so I can keep buying at even cheaper prices, but I'm not counting on it. So
this is clearly the growthiest of growth stocks, if I can say that. It's really betting on the come, as it were. It's going to keep growing up. What's the proposition that says that it can keep going this way? How many cars is it going to have to make? Because right now, if you look at the number of cars it makes compared to its valuation, it's not that great.
Well, yeah, unfortunately, we're investing for the future, and not the past, because you're absolutely right. But I think what we're looking at is the fact that the entire infrastructure for the automotive industry is changing from gas to electric, and Tesla's leading the way. And Tesla is so far ahead of its competitors that it's going to take years for anybody to even develop a vehicle they can scale to compete.
This is a deceptively important point from Ross. It's not just that somebody needs to make a competitive vehicle. You need to design, you need to iterate, you need to improve, you need a little bit of experience. Tesla began releasing vehicles to customers in 2008. Now we're in 2020, 12 years later, and they're finally humming along. It took over a decade to get to this situation. All of the other automakers who've entered the race late are going to be in the same situation Tesla was in 2008. They're a pretty good product, but comparatively speaking to what they're capable of now, absolute horse shit. They need to go from horse shit today to great product. But Tesla's already at the great product stage. What do you think they're going to do over the next 5-10 years? And this is a conundrum that traditional automakers find themselves in, and new EV startups now. Tesla is already in the race and they're already miles ahead. And they're moving faster than you. How do you catch Tesla? You don't. Tesla is far beyond the actual vehicle now. They're focused not on the vehicle, but the manufacturing systems, the factory designs, the components, things like the gigapress, the huge single casting, all kinds of other stuff that other automakers cannot possibly consider wasting time and energy on yet when they still can't produce a decent vehicle. Tesla's so far beyond that now that what they're focused on is actually driving costs down and improving their manufacturing. It's game over. By the time any other automakers have a vehicle that can actually compete with today's Teslas, Tesla will have driven their costs down so far and improved their manufacturing techniques so much that they'll be able to sell their vehicles far cheaper and far more profitably than anything else on the market. You just don't compete with that. That's the point where you go, all right, we give up. Hey Tesla, can we just license all your tech and we'll just put it in our cars and just hope that some people will stay brand loyal, because otherwise we're going bankrupt.
But what it is that consumers want electric vehicles and consumers want Teslas, and they're sold out every day of the Teslas they have. And so when you extrapolate out opening up a gigafactory in Berlin and also in Austin, as well as the China factory now coming on fully online, their ability is to actually double production in the next 2 years and then double it again in 2 more.
This is a very underappreciated element of Tesla's business. When the numbers are small, people don't seem to pay as much attention when somebody's growing their production capacity at such an insane rate, but people seem to be forgetting something. Tesla currently, just from 2 factories which aren't fully built out yet, is producing around 500,000 vehicles per year. They've also got 2 more factories under construction and plenty more will be announced soon, but there's another element to this. As Tesla continues to find new ways to manufacture their vehicles like the Gigapress, they're actually going to be able to produce far more vehicles from the same factory footprint and do so faster and cheaper. So there's this compounding effect. Even though today, at some point, a factory might be producing 500,000 vehicles per year at its maximum capacity, if Tesla can figure out ways to delete parts and processes, they may be able to produce 1 million, 1.5 million, even 2 million vehicles from the same footprint in the future. We'll notice a little bit of this in Gigafactory Berlin once the casting machines are up and they're pumping out way more Model Ys than people would have assumed for such a small factory. But where things are really going to come into their own and Tesla's going to demonstrate their massive engineering brains is the Cybertruck factory in Austin, Texas. Mark my words, people are going to shit a brick when they realize how many Cybertrucks will be produced out of such a small factory footprint, and equally as importantly, how quickly, how rapidly they'll actually be able to produce those things, because there's no paint shop, no stamping, no fucking around with all sorts of processes, all gone, and even more importantly, how incredibly cheaply they're actually going to be manufactured.
So there are no car companies in the world that are even growing, let alone doubling production. And Tesla's a technology company. They're developing full self-driving, and also it's a solar and energy company. And the battery component of their business has enormous value as well. So Tesla isn't a car company. I think that's the mistake a lot of people make in valuing it.
Spot on from Ross. Of course, if you've been watching this channel for more than 3 seconds, you already knew that, but it's an important point. There's still so many analysts on Wall Street who actually think Tesla's a car company and are trying to judge it and value it based on that.
Is it a technology company? How much of the intellectual property does it own as opposed to license?
Well, they own all their technology. In fact, they build it all in-house. And you know, when you walk into the Tesla factory, actually, the first thing you see isn't the factory. What you see is tons of people working on computers. So they're a software company first and foremost, and they built a connected car.
Once again, Ross hits the nail on their head here. In a few years' time, mark my words, the majority of Tesla's profits will be coming from software, autopilot, driving vehicles around autonomously, and autobidder, distributing energy around the world, also autonomously.
When you use the Tesla technology, you really understand that building a car is a very simple thing. We mastered that, 50 years ago. It's not about building cars. It's about building self-driving technology, building an incredibly safe car, and building an electric vehicle, because right now I'm in California and literally the whole state is covered in smoke, and we just cannot live this way. And electric vehicles is one of the ways we can help solve climate. So it has to be addressed.
Ross, you've hit to a really important point. How much of the future of Tesla, the future growth of Tesla, is based on actually what the government does? I mean, we have right now Joe Biden run for president saying he's going to have a very different energy policy from President Trump. China has been out in front often and saying we got electric vehicles. How much is this really driven by government regulation?
Well, I think that's a big part of it. Absolutely. And in fact, Tesla was started because the government wanted to invest in clean energy and lent them money to get started. And now, because of this enormous climate challenge and crisis we have, countries all over the world, except for the Trump administration, is full-fledged in trying to deal with that. And cars is the way. So China's decided to go all in on EV technology now and is developing some of the most advanced EV cars that we're seeing to compete with Tesla. And Tesla is also one of the top, if not the top selling EV in China. The United States policy will change dramatically under Biden, and it will be a huge benefit for Tesla and all of our green energy investments under Biden. But what Trump has shown is how much we need to change our policies so that we deal with climate, because we have no more time.
How big can it get?
Well, I've owned Apple my whole life, and if you would have told me 20 years ago Apple would be worth $2 trillion and
right.
the products and services, I would have said you're crazy.
Yeah.
So I don't know what Tesla will be worth, but if you look at dominating energy and storage, if you look at dominating EVs and self-driving technology, I mean, Tesla's a $1 trillion company at some point. So, I think for a long-term investor, I hope Tesla pulls back more. It would be a great opportunity for the long-term investor.
Even a conservative Tesla bull like Ross Gerber knows Tesla's destined to become a $1 trillion company. I'm betting for multiple trillions, and in fact, I think Tesla is destined to become the world's largest company by revenue and market cap. Unless, of course, Elon's sons decide to start their own companies and somehow out-innovate the old man. But in all seriousness, I genuinely do believe Tesla is destined to become the world's largest company. Now, it's just a matter of time. Whether they execute flawlessly, brilliantly, or just extremely well, doesn't matter. They're going to get there. At least, that's what my crystal ball tells me. Let me know in the comments, what do you guys think? Is Tesla eventually going to become the world's largest company by revenue and or market capitalization? If so, what do you think the stock price today is going to look like in 10, 20, 25, 30 years time? I'm Stephen Mark Ryan. This is Solving the Money Problem, and I love you all. And don't forget your free stocks with WeBull and Stake using the links below. Deposit $100 in your WeBull account, you'll get a free stock valued up to $1,600, and Stake, spin the roulette wheel, you'll either get Nike, GoPro, or Dropbox. Thanks so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And of course, if you have any ideas for future videos, let me know. I read all your comments. P.S. If you're still watching, you're awesome. If you'd like early access, exclusive videos, regular Q&As, our private Discord server and more, consider supporting the channel at patreon.com/solvingthemoneyproblem so I can keep creating content for you guys. There's a link in the description. You can now also become a member of the channel for some exclusive perks. To learn more, click the join button next to subscribe. And don't forget to check out our merch store. Either way, the best form of support is you being here and watching, so thanks again.